As a child-free woman, has anyone else noticed the huge difference in which we get treated compared to child-free men? Like, it is actually mental, because the way child-free women get treated and what the names that they get called, like literally you can just go through my most watched, viewed child-free videos to see like how much hate child-free women get. I don't know why. Like, why are people so obsessed with child-free women having choice over their own bodies and lifestyles? It's very strange.
What do they call him? Cat lady.
Sad spinster unicorn.
Non-child bearer.
You're not worth $300.
Offspringless hag.
Disgusting.
Really? What names are used? Now obviously, yes, of course. There are men out there that insult women that don't have kids. There are men and women who insult women that don't have kids for various reasons. Some question why you haven't reproduced.
Something's wrong with her.
You haven't made new life. But the question is, there are a lot of men that don't want kids either.
Nope.
So men that don't want kids, do they think women should still want kids? It's an interesting question. Do men that don't want kids think women should have kids anyway? Just keep reproducing. Now look, the obvious fact is, of course women would have the pressure on them more to have kids because they're the ones that can physically have the children, physically birth new life. So of course society and random people would put pressures on women and ask them, yo, why don't you have any kids? Yeah, where are your babies? What's going on?
That's none of your goddamn business.
You ain't pushed anything out? You ain't pushed out a person? What's going on there?
You're just jealous.
Yeah, some people say some very horrible things. But the thing is, if you don't want kids, do you care if women don't? Or do you think they should?
But compare that to child-free men. They might get a little bit now and again, but pretty much they're seen as bachelors, gods. Like, it's celebrated, you know? It's massively different.
Bachelors, gods.
Even though I do have a child, it's like, yeah.
Bachelors, gods.
You can understand it. In some ways not, because some men that don't have kids, they're side-eyed as well. Like, yo, bro, how come you don't have any kids? You don't have any?
With great power. These hoes need me, you hear me?
But I do understand, yes, for some women, actually for a lot of women, obviously, because they're the bearers, you'd expect, a lot of people to question, yo, so what's going on? You ain't pushed anyone out. You've probably taken a lot of people in, but you ain't pushed anyone out. Let's carry on.
And people tell me that sexism and misogyny doesn't exist in today's society.
Oh my God.
Sure. Sure.
You let him hit it raw. You didn't have second thoughts. Now you a single mom. Now you a single mom.
I told you not to step out of the shower naked in front of my cat.
Turn this off?
No, you're going to your own home if you keep traumatizing my cat.
I don't have no
Look at
problem
him.
doing that.
Look at him. He is traumatized.
If I ever get on here and say, I can't wait to be a mom, I just can't wait to have pop out a bunch of babies and just be a mom. No, someone has a 40 to the back of my cranium. I'm being held at gunpoint because my whole life I have been so afraid of bearing God's greatest gift and just being ripped apart by a small alien.
Damn, it's a child you're talking about. It's a human person. You know what I mean? I guess you're once an alien to your mom. You ripped out your mom.
It's a girl.
Don't you love mommy? You probably don't, because from your description, you ripped your way out of your mom like an alien. Okay, she's even doing gestures, but okay. Some xenomorph daughter.
I have had nightmares like this. Mommy. Oh God. Looking at a test.
Xenomorph daughter.
Looking at a test that has 2 lines. Oh! Oh!
Now look, understandable, get her point. It's something that, I commend women for, admittedly, because, push a human being out of your body, that's... Yo, as a man, I'm glad I don't have to do that. I'm like, it's not funny, but I'm like, okay. That now I have the ability to put that in a woman. Like Jadakiss said, if she's pregnant, it's a brick in her stomach. Yeah. She's pregnant with my brick. Yeah.
That's fucking ridiculous.
But having a person rip out from inside of you like a xenomorph, I mean, it's not something a man has to experience. And you can understand why some women are terrified of it. But again, who loses out when women don't want to have children? What about men that want to reproduce, but there are less women to reproduce with?
I just feel like if I get cold when I take a nap and I need a blanket, when my cat is taking a nap, wouldn't she get cold? And
okay, Not to cut her off, a woman and her cat. A woman and her cat.
Spicy.
Look how snug the cat is. That cat's very comfortable. I mean, it's not a baby, is it? It's not a baby. It's like, why do women tend to replace having babies with an animal?
Why?
I'm just saying it's just a common coincidence, isn't it? I mean, it's a cute cat. It's a very snug cat. Cat's living better than a lot of real humans, but I mean, yeah. Where's the baby?
It's not funny.
Should this woman push out a baby?
The blanket? Yes, she would.
Have a baby. Yeah, stroking a cat. Have a baby, woman. But seriously, I'm joking. Seriously.
A man who just wants sex, friends with benefits, booty call, whatever you want to call it, that's not a bad person. That's an honest man. And you should appreciate that honesty. Don't try and change that. Don't try and change it. Appreciate the honesty. The only type of guy that I think is bad are ones that pretend they want a relationship when really all they want is just to hook up. But I think, no, the moment a man's up front, you can't... If a man just says he wants something casual and then you have something casual with him and you're...
Okay, we get her point.
That's not a bad person.
In modern day and times, hookup culture is a very normal thing. A lot of people are just hooking up and banging. Situationships is just, yeah, okay, it's normal. But that's the point I want to make. The way the world is right now, who wants to bring more children into the world?
Oh, hell no.
Indeed. On the other hand, you can say, well, the future's going to look quite bleak if there's no one around to replace the jobs. But then again, you can say, well, but then on the other hand, you can say, well, a lot of people are losing their jobs. What guarantee do you have that your child is even going to have a good job in the future?
Good luck.
So my point is, linked to the modern hookup culture, linked to the fact a lot of people can't buy houses now, a lot of people are just having fun. A lot of people are just basically just doing their life. They're not trying to build a future. So economically, you can understand why a lot of people just aren't having children because they can't afford it. They simply can't afford it. Regardless of if they want to or not. Can they afford it? Can you afford it? Can you afford to have more if you have any? And even if you can afford to have more, would you want to? Is a question. So back to hookup culture. I mean, everyone knows if you got children, hooking up is going to be more difficult. Not impossible, obviously, to people, but it's going to be more difficult, isn't it? Then again, if you don't have any kids, no children, no burden, it's nothing but hookups. Nothing but continuous hookups. Situationships, odd relationships for the rest of your life. Interesting.
You're hoping for a relationship and then it doesn't turn into it. And then you turn around and go, oh, he used me. He didn't use you. You used him. I don't know. Works both ways. But I just don't think they're bad guys. I appreciate their honesty.
There already won't be a replacement of people in the future because a lot of people now aren't having any more kids. But can you blame them? Do you want any children? And whether you do or not, is it your business that people do or don't? Have a nice day.
Bachelor's gods.